Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm excited to share about the design of the house and the vision that I have for this space because I realized that I hadn't really sat down and shared what kind of direction we were going to be taking this design and style and decor and all that stuff of the house, and I thought it would be fun for you guys to be in the loop, and also it was just helpful for me to sit down and just figure it all out and see it visually, because I'm super visual and I can like imagine and see things in my head, but when I was trying to explain it to Justin, he was really struggling to understand how it was cohesive and what the overall concept and color palette and things like that were for the house. And so he kicked me in the butt and got me thinking about getting everything onto like a vision board and like a mood board. And yeah, I just found it really helpful to sit down and kind of dig through all the different colors and also be like organized, I guess, and keep track of what colors go in what rooms and what products or like interior design pieces I really like rugs and sofas, any type of decor ideas and DIY projects that I had in mind for the space. So I thought I would dig through my Notion board and share that with you guys. Before I do, I just want to give a really big shout out to Jackery for sponsoring today's video. Jackery recently launched their newest model at the IFA Expo in Berlin, Germany. It is going to be officially available in stores September 15th, so hope you guys are ready. What we're talking about here is the Jackery Explorer 1000 Pro portable power station that can come with 200 watt 18 volt solar panels. It's a mega upgrade from their previous solar panels because they're double the size and fold out, so you don't have so many separate items to set up, which makes your life so much easier when you're using the solar panels to recharge the unit. The new model is fully upgraded from Jackery's most popular Jackery Solar Generator 1000, which is a great size for life off the beaten path or power for your home as a backup reserve that will last you a good few days if you ever lose power. It's Jackery's fastest solar wall recharging generator, making it an industry-leading product for clean energy capture and charging. So here's what you get with your Jackery Solar Generator 1000 Pro. With the portable power station, it comes with a light, 2 USB-A output plugs, which are set up for quick charge, which is freaking amazing for when our phones are dead and we're running out the door but we need juice fast. It also has 2 USB-C output plugs, an LCD screen that you can turn on and off to reserve your power and also keep up with various settings and information you might need to know about for your Jackery. A core port for charging for those days you're out on the road or on the go and need to charge while traveling. And 3 AC output plugs for just about anything you can think of. Camera batteries, electric cookers, waffle makers, laptop, you name it. For recharging, you've got the AC and DC input, so you can choose if you're charging with the sun or off the grid. If you're rocking the older model solar panels, the new power station comes with adapters that allow you to keep using your older gear from Jackery. The Solar Saga 200 18 volt panels fold out to have 4 panels in one unit. They're waterproof and can charge your Jackery unit in about an average of like 4 hours depending on the sun intensity. You can add a solar series connector, which allows you to connect 2 to 3 solar panels at one time so you can charge up even faster, which is insane. That would be like 18 watts of sun energy coming into your power bank. So if you're interested, you can click the link in the description so you can find out more about their newest model or find yourself the model that works best for your lifestyle. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the design board things that I've been working on for each room of the house, and that'll give you a better idea of where the color swatches and little samples like this are coming from and how they're going to come into play. So let's get into that. So starting with the breakfast nook, which is going to be the far end of the house, what used to be the kitchen. Overall, within the house, we're going for a very like mid-century modern kind of vibe that has a lot of eclectic bohemian features within it. So the breakfast nook, I'm going to kind of use picture frame moldings on the wall to add a little bit of an accent and like a traditional 1920s home vibe. And then we're going to be building a banquette, like dinette area in the corner. So we had the electrical moved so that we could have a hanging light over the table, but we'll have this kind of like sweet vibe with our old table that we'll have to sand and refinish with the modern chairs that we have. And these are all the inspiration pictures that I'm pulling just off of Pinterest, which if you don't use Pinterest, it can be your best friend. I wanted it to feel very much like French bistro vibe. We're gonna be doing tile flooring with this tiny hexagon style tile, and the moldings will be in the follow through sit light color that's the color of the ceiling in all throughout the house, as well as the moldings upstairs. So this will be the color of the moldings down there as well. And then the color for the room originally was going to be this fresh idea color. We actually ended up changing it to a color called Geyser Stream. It's slightly more like green tinted, like teal turquoisey color. When we did the sample of the fresh idea, it just didn't come out with the right kind of contrast that I wanted with the color of the kitchen, which we will get to. The banquette is going to be this nice like vegan leather that I'm hoping to source. Something super simple and warm that will have a nice kind of additional just warmth to the space, because a lot of it is going to feel quite cool with the color of the walls, and then the floors obviously with the tile will just be very like clean, I guess. So that leather will add a nice feature to it, and then the chairs, which you might recognize that we already have with the wicker backing, I feel like that's that rustic kind of boho vibe that's coming through. And then this sort of light fixture, I think I just found this one off Amazon. On the wall that's going to be taking you from the breakfast nook into the kitchen, we're going to be doing wallpaper. Wallpaper is extremely expensive, I'm learning, so this will probably be something that we add further down the road, and we'll just plan to paint the space. I chose a couple that I had kind of come across. I think this blue one is from Spoonflower. They make a lot of fabric and wallpaper and prints and things like that from people who are artists that submit their designs, as well as other creators within their business. This wallpaper is definitely, I think, more what we're leaning towards. I went to go and seek out their website, but it's under construction, so I have no idea how expensive it is, likely over budget, but it's definitely the right color palette for the space that's going to be a fusion of both the kitchen vibe and the breakfast nook vibe. So this is the downstairs bathroom vibe. It's very, very tiny in a small space, and we have future ideas and plans to kind of shift it over and add a half bath downstairs as well within that space, and close off the second corridor that goes out into the mudroom so that we can utilize that space, because we don't really feel like it's super necessary to have two entryways from the back of the house into the house. I love the look that is going on in all of these, with like combination of either a dark tile down below or the white tile across the wall. It's quite dark down there because the window in the bathroom looks into the mudroom, and so the base of the window is kind of blocked because we don't obviously want, you know, a lack of privacy. And so I have found these, and I'm going to be digging more to see if I can find other ones. Like I said, this is just the initial search that I've been doing for what I'm looking for. But the downstairs bathroom will have like a half shutter so that the top half of the window can be open. You don't need curtains or anything, but you still get the privacy, and you can open them if you want to. I like the idea of something brown for the sink basin. We actually already bought this light. I bought this light for Azalea's room originally, but it's so small, and the only room that I could think that it would make super good sense for is either the mudroom or one of the closet spaces or one of the bathrooms. And the bathroom downstairs really needs an upgrade for the light fixture, and this could be the perfect size. And I also think it's a cool vibe to have like the store light fixture and then possibly this kind of tile for the floor, which would mimic that store feature on the ceiling. And I also like it in the white. So there's a couple of different ways that you can kind of organize those tiles. You could have the checkerboard vibe or a dark vibe or a light vibe. And I also think that that would play really nicely with the stenciling that I'm hoping to do on the front porch and up the stairs in the corridor. as you come into the house. So I think those would be really cool. I chose this green tile. I think it would be fun to add color. Like instead of doing tile that's white, maybe add color at the base, kind of how this center picture is with the colored tile, and then have the printed floor and then paint the walls white. And I'm thinking that the ceiling, the walls, and the trim would all just be the same color to help keep it kind of like minimal, clean, bright, and very open. The downstairs bedrooms. This was tricky for a while because I wasn't sure what the vision for these spaces were gonna be. I haven't really been in them too much because we have all roommates living down there in those 2 rooms. And so it's hard to kind of like allow myself the creative freedom to just like dream up what the space could be without seeing it as much as I see a lot of the other spaces throughout the day. But I finally come to a really cool vision for them, and this is the vibe. So the first room is gonna have picture frame moldings all over, and I think it just is really classy. The downstairs bedrooms have 10-foot ceilings, and so it's a really good opportunity to play on kind of height and grandness of the space. I really love this fusion of like classic and modern, where you're using like mid-century, eclectic, and then also traditional kind of home details with the crown moldings and the picture frame moldings, and then just like the way that you're styling and kind of building out the space. So the bedroom color, I have it here as fresh idea. It might mimic the same color that is now going to be on the TV room wall, but also maybe the color that is going to be the breakfast nook wall. So I'm kind of just going with the flow to see how the space comes together and wanting to, like I said, make it all cohesive. So we'll just see once our roomies move on to their new home space what kind of color would best fit that room. I found this rug on Ruggable and I'm really loving the vibe. I feel like it plays on this picture here where it has like the purple flowers and the lilac and stuff. So I think that that kind of color palette is really, really beautiful, very feminine and like earthy at the same time. Like with the purple color palette, you don't normally think of that as earthy, but I think that the choices of like peach and lilac are really, really beautiful together. And I think I like the idea of using those kinds of colors as a like theme for the space. I found these, this one's just at the Home Depot, which I thought was pretty cool. I like that it's very like earthy and it just feels delicate, and I think could bring a lot of warmth into the space and like balance out that very traditional kind of home like picture framing. I found a few different light fixtures too. Urban Outfitters is a really awesome spot to find home decor light fixtures. They have some cool like duvet covers, and yeah, I really like this light fixture. I feel like it looks like a flower almost, which I feel like this room is kind of very flowery vibe, with especially with the rug. The other room, I wanted it to be maybe a little bit warmer. It's got a mural kind of vibe to it, which I think could be cool, so that I'm not overdoing the picture frame in every single room. I like the idea of either having some type of focal feature being on the bed, whether it be a mural on the wall or an epic bed frame with like a feature wall that's a different color. The color of the kitchen is slightly similar to this orange maple color, but it's called Cavern Clay. It's like a slightly rustic burnt orange color, and I think that playing with that and some other off-white kind of colors could really be nice to create something dynamic within the space, to create color, but also having a focus be more on the walls being a very white, like the sit light, just because the room that this whole vision would be going in is probably one of the darkest rooms of the house. Although I say it's the darkest room of the house, I love this rug, and I think that it could have a really nice contrast with the orange and this warmth. The floors are obviously that really bold, orangey brown, rustic pine that are all the original hardwoods, and so I think having all these kind of warm colors would have a nice balance with this gray rug. Then I found this light fixture. I'm not sold. I like the idea of something big and epic on the ceiling. This room that I'm sitting in here is gonna be still green. I love the idea of having a green room. I've called it like the jungle yoga studio room. I should say that our vision for this entire house, because there's 5 bedrooms in it, is to eventually have it as like an Airbnb space and a collective place where people can come and stay and meet each other, running it as like a bed and breakfast almost, potentially hosting events and retreats and gatherings and sacred circles here. I feel like all those kinds of experiences would add to the whole purpose of this house, which could be cool. So this upstairs room, I see it as like the jungle yoga studio room, but also like a day bed kind of vibe. The walls will be this nice like green, I guess it's called Garden of Paradise. I'm still playing with samples for this room, but the vibe, I like the idea of having a wall of plants as maybe the backdrop and having sort of like a built-in shelf system with just plants everywhere as a part of this space. I think that that could be a really beautiful vibe, I guess, for this room. And I found this minimal just ball, like a globe, almost like it's the sun, for the light fixture here on the ceiling. And if ever we decide to hardwire like lights into the walls, we need a lot of electrical work still on this house, but I found these cool sconces that I think would be the perfect vibe. Again, like this weird fusion of like modern and also like eclectic with both the color and the print and the design. I just feel like it has a really cool vibe and I'm really digging it. Moldings will be this satellite white, and yeah, the walls will be mostly green. This is the kitchen, which you all might be shocked to have found out from our Instagram pictures that we had painted it mostly orange. You won't see the entire kitchen as orange because we will eventually be adding a backsplash. But I found this picture on Pinterest and I like super fell in love with it whenever we were initially trying to figure out like the color palette for the kitchen and how we were gonna start integrating color into the downstairs space. Because the living room being that sort of like very dark gray, black molding vibe with the white walls and not wanting to do black and white throughout the entire downstairs, I wanted to find a way to like transition from that to something that was more colorful. And this was just cool. I fell in love with it, and I'm definitely using this as a grounding point for the theme for the kitchen. So we picked out these 2 like orange colors. This one's called Terracotta Pot, and this one is Cavern Clay. And basically the cabinets are gonna be an off-white kind of cream color down here. And then we'll have a white countertop, quartz. And then I have a white, kind of off-white tile, rustic looking, that would be kind of across here as a backsplash. And then above that, wooden shelves. And so the paint really will only store kind of a little higher than eye level and up to the ceiling. The ceiling will be white. This will all be orange, I guess, I think. And then white casings for the windows with white moldings up top. And the white that we're doing is the satellite, so it's kind of like a creamy, warm white. And then on this side, there'll be cabinets up to the ceiling, mostly up to the ceiling, up to like here, across here, down. And then across here, we'll also have a backsplash. This whole thing will be tiled with a vent hood up there. So the only part that you'll see wall all the way probably down to the ground is like right here and on this side. And I wanted to flow into this room really nicely. And we've got this tile, just as a sample, we're gonna be making our own like design into this kind of tile. So Dean is getting us a white sheet tile and we're just gonna pull off the black hexagons that we don't want and create our own design. And then this room I was thinking of a more blue tone kind of color. So this one is Desert Lake. So shiny and kind of a bad. It's still wet, so it's kind of tricky to see, but that one's Geyser Stream. I tried to paint it so you could see like the 2 colors together, which Babe is super conveniently blocking with his arm. Oh. So all the colors, that way you can see the flow from like this room to that room, because the full room is basically black and white. And so you can see all the way into there. And then also you can kind of see that same impact of color all the way from this black and white room. So you would have it kind of transition into that space. I think it looks really cool, actually. What do you guys think? I also wanted to use these pictures here as like a really nice like grounding point for inspiration of this like clean, white, warm, bright, very like modern, but to the like in alignment with the year of the house. Originally we were planning on tiling the kitchen floors, which is where this picture was like the ultimate goal. It was such a cool picture to come across because I feel like it's perfect for the theme and the year of the house. Yeah, we just had to make some design changes that was going to be the right thing for our house because obviously every house is different. So we went with this style kitchen cabinet. These are called shaker cabinets. This is sort of the hardware vibe I'm thinking about going for. It's very rustic and has a brass kind of color. The light fixture, I'm thinking will have the 3 sconces. I was trying to find something that had like a little bit of an arm and an overhang. These will be hanging over the windows above the sink. So it'll have this same kind of kitchen vibe, except the sconces will be here. I'm excited about the kitchen. It's really coming along and I can't wait to share more on all the progress that we've been making with you guys. So you'll have to stay tuned for future videos because they're coming soon. For those of you that might still be curious about Jackery and on the fence to pull the trigger, we thought it would be helpful for us to share our thoughts on the newest Jackery unit and why we love Jackery so much. Some of their newest features with the Jackery Explorer 1000 Pro are the flipping handle. It's more compact and easy to store away, but also great for portability. We take our Jackery whenever we go on camping trips, adventures in the Red Pepper, or if we just need to have power in our backyard for renovation projects we're working on. Justin even takes the Jackery unit on days he goes beekeeping so he can have his mite treatments ready to go. We've even used our Jackery for outdoor movie nights in the middle of the wilderness. What more could you want for a fun evening in the great outdoors? The case for the solar panels fold up into a flatter and more compact, easy to pack up into the bus kind of way. They're great for van life people or tiny home storage spaces. They've moved the charging points to the back of the Jackery, which is just more flattering, and put the light on the face of the unit with different settings: on, brighter, and flashing. You never know what you'll need when you're in the wilderness or without power. We love having the option to recharge the unit using solar energy from the sun, off the grid, or in our car. It's pretty versatile. While it's bigger than a portable battery that you would fit into your pocket, it is great for longevity when you need copious amounts of power. It can recharge your phone 100 times, power your TV for more than 12 hours, keep a mini fridge cool for 17 hours, and even brew coffee for 88 minutes straight. Crazy. So not only do they consistently listen to their customer feedback to make the power stations better and better each time they relaunch, but they offer free and fast delivery for orders in the US, 30-day money-back guarantee, and 2-year warranty for free. And when you buy from Jackery directly, they make it a 3-year warranty. They've got lifetime customer support and easy monthly payments for orders more than $500. So why not make the Jackery Explorer 1000 Pro your first investment into a more renewable source of power? We haven't ever regretted having our power bank around, and it's been saving us a pretty penny on some of these electric bills lately. So feel free to click the link in the description to learn more about their newest model or snag yourself one that fits your needs. The master bedroom. This one still needs some love. I like the idea of pulling in a darker color to this space because I feel like the master bedroom just needs some sort of like very mature, adult, grown-up kind of vibe. And potentially using the color of the outside of the house as this like back feature wall and adding this kind of paneling with potentially a shelf up top here so that you can have decor and all kinds of things, plants, whatever. We have a very modern mid-century bedside table set up already, so that kind of mimics this vibe. And yeah, we have the wood floors, and I found this rug on Ruggable, which I love. I feel like it's very, very traditional, like Persian-y, and yeah, like Turkish vibes. I really, really love it. I found this light fixture, which is nuts, on Etsy. There's loads of cool things that you can find on Etsy, like light switch covers, which also Anthropologie has a lot of things like that, like doorknobs and fixtures, but Etsy also has some really great ones. And this one I thought would be really cool for the bedroom. I like the idea of maybe having it be eventually more of like a conservatory space, and like moving the laundry facilities to one end of that back mudroom so that you can kind of utilize the front space, have a sofa set up so that you can take your boots off in like more comfort. I saved a couple of these because I was thinking it would be fun to have like, you know, a combination of like place to store and hang your coats and boots and things, but also like obviously a space for laundry. So I like the idea of using paneling and creating kind of like hanging space, adding more storage up above, and maybe even like a split door situation. I thought that was really cool, something farmhousey, you know? And I've saved all these pictures too because they have that sort of checkered floor. I was thinking about just painting over the cement and having like a checkered floor look, maybe even stenciling the floor. This is also the same kind of idea that I have for the front porch, so I think that would tie the two together. I don't know that they would be the same color or design, but I think it could be fun to create a design into the flooring so that you don't have just like a bland ground, I guess, when you come in. This room you guys know so well, obviously Azalea's bedroom. Her room is not quite finished and not quite styled and completed yet, but we have moved her into the space. And I've been working on a little project that, yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys. I've been macrameing curtains that are gonna go across, obviously, the windows, something similar to this. Anyways, the wall color, the teal kind of color, is called Mist on the Moors, and then she's got the sit light wall that's on the ceiling. And actually there's a color here that's missing, but it's called Navajo, and it's like a slightly warmer, kind of dirtier version of sit light, and that's the other feature wall. I love the idea of having storage for her that looks a bit like this, and maybe creating some cool woven design pieces. She really wants a bed like this. I don't know when or how this will happen, but obviously every parent wants to give their kid what they want, but within reason. Bed frames are unbelievably expensive, and so you may have noticed that we have mattresses still on the floor, and that is why. I found this cool light fixture. I really love it. It looks so delicate and like flowery, or maybe even like sun rays. Then this one too as a standing light. I really love how modern it looks, but at the same time very like earthy and flowery and natural kind of vibes. And also this kind of like creamy warm color palette that seems to be like consistently throughout the entire house. The upstairs bathroom. I love the idea of salvaging some old cabinetry or furniture pieces to create like our own kitchen vanity space. We have a crowfoot tub, so I'm torn whether I prefer like making the crow feet a focal point and keeping it white when I restore it, or like painting the base of it black and kind of adding this wainscoting down at the base of the room and having it be dark or light. These are two just like opposing visions. I just can't decide which I prefer. I love the idea of like a pattern floor and something, you know, eclectic. And so I have this tile here again. What I would probably end up doing though is buying all white and all black as two separate sheets and creating my own design within the floor tile. I think that would be pretty cool. I love this vibe. This is another one where it's like maybe I could even just like tile around where the crowfoot tub is. And this is just another snap of that cool vanity that I really love. Here I've got a few different ideas of the light. I definitely think that this would fit the darker vibe, but I love this as like above the sink vanity light. And I've been thinking a lot about the layout of this bathroom space because I think in order for it to be more elegant, the plumbing needs to be not visible, because right when you sit on the toilet, you see this like gross plastic PVC piping that is the drain for the crowfoot tub. So it needs to be rotated so that you can have the plumbing built into the wall. The issue that we have is that the wall, there's like nothing on the other side, and the wall of the house is just straight cinder block basically. And so we would need to have a bump out where we would just frame out especially for the plumbing of the bathtub, and then have it run underneath the floor and drain out where it originally drains out. But that would allow us to flip the tub around. Okay, so the exterior of the house, this is an exciting one. So this is kind of like not the vibe, but the vibe. We're thinking obviously blue outside of the house and then white trim features. And then we have brick on the base, but it's painted. So we're thinking it's either gonna be white or a continuation of the blue. But we love the idea of the contrasting brown. And so the ceiling of the front porch will eventually probably be a nice brown. The door frame is gonna be brown. And we were thinking it would be fun to have a pop of color on the front door. This is a little too vibrant, but we were just using it as a visual for like this blue with the white and then the brown and like the color. We're thinking more like mustardy. That's definitely more our kind of energy, is like earth tony. But the outside color again is this navy sea wool. Thinking of pulling the color from the kitchen for the flooring, the front porch, and then I would stencil over it. So it would look maybe more like terracotta-y and like, you know, European, like Spanish tiles. The railing is not up to code because it's like super wobbly and stuff, but this is definitely a cool modern look that we really like, that mimics this like warmth of the wood that we would have throughout for the ceiling and any other little features. I found this cool, very modern porch fan. I think that this could be really cool. We're gonna redo the lights on the front. I think this is kind of like vintage looking, so old, but also has like a slight modern flair to it. This is the living room that you all know so well by now, with the inspiration pictures that I had. This was probably my main inspiration picture. I love the idea of like all these kind of contrasts in here with like sharp angles, but then also like very organic with the tree. I'm thinking we're gonna get an olive tree and bring it inside. I think plants are just game changers to making a space feel really homey and cozy. But we already have this rug here that our dear friends Lisa and Matt brought for us. So we've got this like red kind of vibe that mimics this. And I was thinking about tiling or maybe even stenciling the fireplace to have a very similar vibe. I like the idea of having it usable in a way that's not with wood and burning through the chimney. This, I forget every time, they're called something special, like the ceiling medallion, I think. I like this one. It's clean, it's modern. Maybe we'd paint it black and then have like this cool modern light fixture in the living room space. And then this sofa is from Article, I believe. They have various different shapes and sizes, but I like the idea of it being something warm. So I was in a crazy race with time the last time you saw me here in this living room. I didn't quite finish. So close. I did like a second coat up top all the way across, and we started putting a lot of the crown moldings up, but there's still a lot more to finish. Tommy did the floors and fixed up a couple of pieces that I was really dreading fixing, so I'm grateful for that. He had to like cut away this little baseboard piece and he recut this and then routed it so that it had a similar like wave, I guess, to the moldings that are already here. Because this house is so old, a lot of the moldings don't really exist anymore. Anyways, yeah, I have to go back and touch up a little bit on the floor because they scuffed it up a bit when they were sanding the floors and stuff. So I'm gonna be working on touch-ups, painting the walls, finishing the moldings, and getting this room finished. Here we go. The TV room. This is the room that I'm currently working on right now, so I'm excited to make some good progress on it because it's really coming together and I'm feeling super inspired. Originally I was thinking a black wall. I would hide the TV and like kind of camouflage it with the space, and then I was gonna do picture frame moldings. But when I painted it black, I just didn't really like the way that it was looking. But I like the idea of this kind of like dirty bluish gray wall and having it be a feature wall where the TV is camouflaged along with other picture frames and decor. So it's not going to be this Navajo color, it's a different color that I've found, and it actually matches the color of the kitchen cabinets, which were from the company. They're Nantucket Bluff, and it's this kind of dirty, creamy, slightly green gray undertones to it. So I saved a few sofas just to get inspiration of the type of look that I'm going for, hoping to see if we could find something on the Facebook marketplace or at a thrift store. This Rug is from Ruggable again. These are some light fixtures that I found. I think this is from like Urban. So having something that's nice for when you're watching TV, maybe something that comes over the sofa from the corner could be cool. I like the idea of having that kind of floating lamp the way they have like in this picture, like from the back end of the sofa. So it feels like a hanging light, but not quite. As of super recently, I've thought that I'm going to be painting a mural on this wall that has the picture frame stuff on it. So it has like just this crazy energy. So I've started drawing in my sketchbook a little bit, some cool designs and some ideas. I like the idea of going with this like Norwegian folk art kind of vibe, having it be very stencily but modern, maybe pulling some of the colors from throughout the house onto this mural, or maybe even just keeping it in a very monochromatic kind of black and white feel. So the last space that I have for you guys is really just the outdoor garden space. There's still so much that needs to be figured out. I have a few notes of what kind of plants I would want within the space. I love the idea of it being very cottage-like and wildflowers and very pollinator friendly. I think it would be so epic to have like butterflies just everywhere and bees, and obviously you know us and we really like growing our own produce. So this is for sure the vibe we're going for. I like the idea of incorporating slabs of stone, big rocks, and having kind of plants that will create energy within mulch. Also, I've been just on this entire board saving a bunch of different wallpapers that I really like the look of, ways that we could incorporate them into different rooms and what rooms we think they could go well in. But yeah, overall I think it's cohesive, coming together. It has a cool, eclectic, modern, traditional kind of vibe, and the color palette's very warm, welcoming, uplifting, but also like earthy and rooted and grounding. Yeah, I don't know, that's really all I just wanted to share. I hope that you found some value in this video and can be maybe inspired in a room reno for your own self, and maybe like, yeah, I don't know, switch it up, paint a room and get an idea of how to do research, find your design ideas and collect a vision together in one space so that you can kind of manifest what's going on in your mind and what you see for your space. I'm having loads of fun doing this and I'm having fun sharing it with you guys, so I hope you are too, and be sure to check in next week with us, and I look forward to sharing more on the renovations and the progress and everything that has been going on in this crazy whole project. So until next week, have a good one. Bye.